There is a type of person who speaks very little, but misses absolutely nothing. They sit quietly in the room. They don't argue. They don't perform. They don't rush to fill the silence. But they notice the shift in your tone before you notice it yourself. They see the tension behind your smile. They read the room while everyone else is still talking. Most people assume quiet means empty. Psychology says it means the opposite. Research suggests that people who observe more and speak less operate with a rare cognitive style, one that only a small percentage of people naturally possess. This is the psychology of people who stay silent but observe everything. Psychologists studying introversion and high sensitivity have found that quiet observers don't just see more, their brains literally process information at a deeper level than most people around them. While others react immediately, they pause. While others speak to think, they think before they speak. That pause isn't hesitation. It isn't shyness. It is depth. Dr. Elaine Aron's research on highly sensitive people shows that this deeper processing is a biological trait, not a personality flaw. These individuals take in more data from every environment, every conversation, every silence. They aren't quiet because they have nothing to say. They are quiet because they refuse to say something meaningless. That is not a weakness. That is one of the rarest forms of intellectual discipline that exists. Have you ever noticed that some people cannot handle being around a quiet person? They rush to fill the silence. They talk more. They get nervous. They assume the quiet person is judging them, and they often confess things they had no intention of saying. Psychology explains this through a concept called the pressure to self-disclose. When someone doesn't perform for us, our own social anxiety rushes in to fill the gap. The quiet observer never planned this. But their stillness becomes a kind of natural authority. People confide in them. People trust them instinctively. People feel genuinely heard in their presence, because for perhaps the first time, someone is actually listening. Most people fight for the room's attention. The quiet observer already has it, they just never asked for it. Here is what most people never understand about the quiet observer. They are not calm because nothing is happening inside them. They are calm because they have learned to contain multitudes without making it anyone else's problem. Psychology links this to a concept called emotional suppression regulation, where highly observant individuals develop sophisticated internal systems for processing intense feeling without external expression. They feel deeply. They grieve fully. They love completely. But they do it quietly, in the space between words, in the hours when no one is watching. And because they rarely show it, the world assumes they are fine. Always fine. Strong. Composed. No one thinks to ask. And they rarely tell. If you recognize this, if you know exactly what it feels like to hold everything together on the outside while carrying something heavy on the inside, then you already know that your silence has never been emptiness. It has been endurance. The world is finally beginning to understand their value. For a long time, the loud were rewarded. The bold got the promotions. The performers got the followers. The quiet observer watched all of it, and said nothing. But research in organizational psychology is now confirming what quiet people always suspected. Studies show that the most effective leaders, the most trusted advisors, and the most accurate decision makers in high-pressure environments are disproportionately the people who speak least and observe most. Susan Cain's landmark research found that in a world built for extroverts, introverts and quiet observers consistently outperform in tasks requiring depth, accuracy, and sustained focus, the exact qualities that matter most when the stakes are highest. The world spent decades rewarding noise. It is slowly learning to respect silence. And the people who mastered silence long before it was valued. They were simply ahead. They always were. So the next time someone tells you that you are too quiet, too reserved, too much in your own head, remember this. Psychology doesn't call you closed off. It calls you calibrated. You don't speak to be heard. You speak when it matters. You don't react to be seen. You respond when it counts. You don't fill the room with noise, because you never needed to prove you belonged in it. Your silence was never the absence of something. It was always the presence of something most people never develop. If you know someone who is always the quietest in the room but somehow always the most aware, share this video with them. They probably already knew all of this. They just needed to hear that someone else finally noticed. And if this channel speaks to the part of you that thinks deeply and feels more than you show, subscribe. Because here, we don't just talk about psychology.